Hey, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome. Rory's with me as well over
I
in
am indeed.
In the UK. How's the weather over there, Rory?
It's absolutely awful.
Really?
It's
It's too
been
bad.
raining all day,
I'm
constantly.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Down. Go ahead.
no, that's just rain, rain, more rain. But it's
Yeah.
not. I'm in a building. I'm fine.
So, in Costa Rica, where I live, it is sunny most of the time, and when it
Hmm.
rains, it's like warm rain coming down.
Oh
So,
wow.
so kind of cool. Will Bennett offers some emotional sympathy, I think, for you, Rory.
Yeah.
Uh, so, interesting. So, Rory and I just noticed a problem as we were starting up, and kind of interesting. We'll take a look at that. I think maybe right now. And in terms of what we're going to do today, usually at the very beginning, I know what I'm going to do, and I kind of wrote down that we would be doing some refactoring, but I'm
Hmm.
kind of changing my mind, and so we may end up changing that. So all right, so let's see here. Let's look at the problem first. So if we look at the live stream right about now, we've just loaded up the overlay, and so you see the coins going around the screen, all around here to my left, right, and all around the edges. And what we saw is when we typed in launch, it disappeared. And so I'm going to do that now, and we're going to see what happens here. See if we lose it again. It worked this time. Let's try see what happens. Let's see what happens when I do drone. It's working this time too. I don't know why it didn't work before on
So
the
the
overlay.
only real difference was that we were in our kind of holding pattern prior to the stream starting, sort of our lobby area, if you like. I
Yeah.
don't know that there should be too much of a difference there, though.
No, it doesn't make sense to me at all why it disappeared. Let's see what else goes. Let's do a test mix, which I made a few minor changes to the layout of right there. And so this is that one right there. So if I'm going to come in here, I type in drone 2, it puts me in a portal 2 location like that. And Rory, you can come in at drone 1.
Yep.
And interesting. So it seems like it's working now. Let's go down about 1.5 and go left about 1. And I'm just typing in these commands. Rory can now toss me the ball through that little area to my left right there. That area
Okay,
right
so
there.
0.5, a little bit down. Obviously, it's interesting. Got a little delay seeing any effect here.
0.5 is what you did. So
Yeah, well, it's not very much, is it? Okay, I need maybe another one on
Will
top of
Bennett's
that.
typing in drone 3. There's no number 3 portal. So if he just types in drone, it'll go where the. Let's do this. Let's type in.
I can never remember. Is the toss command the horizontal
T?
first or the vertical?
Yeah, it's horizontal. Think of it like XY
Horizontal.
coordinates.
Okay, cool. So if I give you something like 7 and then maybe 0.5,
Maybe.
give it a bit of lift.
I think you're going to need 14, comma 1 is what I think you're going to need for the next one. So I think you're going to need that.
Oh dear.
Will Bennett's trying to come in at portal number 666. I wonder if he's found his secret way in. That bounce, by the way, there, I don't know, it's bugging me a little bit. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Are you, let me ask you, was that throw because of the delay, the lag that you're experiencing?
I did not see that I had bounced off the bottom based on the delay, so I was expecting to throw and that'd be a bit better.
Got it.
Um,
Okay, there we go. Now I think maybe 10, comma 1. Nice. And then now I can come up, say maybe 4, go left a bit as I come up, and then go right. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. Wow. All right, so it's interesting. It seems like it's working now, so it looks like we don't have the problem that we thought we had before. Interesting. So kind of cool. So we've built all of this in the last 63 episodes or so. We haven't always been working on this, but we've done that. And it's kind of cool. It's this ability to kind of load up a gaming kind of environment over the live coding stream and do things like collect coins, that sort of thing. I'll tell you where I've got a couple directions here. The one I said I was going to go in, I think I'm now leaning back to that since we don't have a problem here. But in terms of collecting coins, I don't have it actually saving the coins yet. So I'm sending the information across. We ended up writing that, but we're not actually saving it. So I have to do that still to collect the coins. And I want to, when you collect a coin, I want to update your collection number so you see the total number that you've seen for a few seconds, and then I want
Okay.
it to disappear. So if you collect, the act of collecting a coin will tell you what your total is near your drone, and then make that disappear.
Okay.
That's on my list as well. But I also have a secondary goal, which is I talked about a couple shows ago, which is to create essentially a mini role-playing game for a second channel on Twitch that I intend to start.
Yes,
And
we
so,
saw the sort of schematics almost for that, and that I have
right.
to say, mate, look pretty good, right?
Yeah,
That's a
that's,
really nice little task you've got yourself there.
so I think
That's
I
going to be
want
quite
to
entertaining.
I think I want to lean in that direction for a little bit. Let's refactor for a bit, get ready for that move, and then let's maybe play with coins if we decide to do that in this episode and save those up. Okay?
Okay.
You cool with that, Rory?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, fine. Yeah, I'm okay too if you say no, I'm not cool at all, and you know, I want you to do something else. That was
I have to say, I think we've reached the point where a little bit of refactoring towards that is probably a good idea. We've got something that wasn't necessarily heading in the generic framework direction as much as it could. But at the same time, we have been sort of leading it back around in that direction. So a little bit of a look at things to see can they be made a little bit easier for a secondary project. You know, it's got to be worth something.
All right, so let's do that. So we got the code in the background over here. I have made a few minor changes here, really just structural organizational changes. If you look up at in my TS folder here, I added a new folder called Animation Engine, and I started dragging into here all of the pieces that were going to be pretty much the same regardless of what was going on, whether we were doing a role-playing game or whether we were doing, you know, rockets and drones. I still have all the rockets and drones out here in this area as well. By the way, Roy, can you give me an awesome check for Mr. AnnouncerBot? Make sure that
Certainly.
we have control.
Awesome!
And we do
We
have
are
control.
good.
All right, good. Wanted to make sure that's the case as well. Folks in the chat room, if you want to get my attention while we're streaming, you can type in bang or the exclamation mark followed by the word Mark. That's my name. And then we can do that. I just realized for 64 shows, I've never really said who I am, but I guess you can kind of look right down there and get
There's
a sense
a
of
little
who I am.
clue there underneath you.
Little clue. All right. So now what I want to do is I think I want to start dividing things up. I want to create, I think, another folder here. Call it the drone game. Oh, and by the way, now that we've got everything running and loaded, guess what I have to do? I have to shut it down. I have to pull out the rug from underneath it because I want to make changes to the code and structural changes. So we're kind of going to do that. I'm going to shut this down at least. That may also kill Mr. AnnouncerBot, which I am looking to see if he's running or not. I don't actually see him running out here.
Yeah, looks like he may be gone.
Let me try this. I'm going to start up Mr. AnnouncerBot separately. And when I do it separately, I'm starting a particular DLL. I see an authentication failed message in here, but I'm not sure what that's for. And I do see a Mr. AnnouncerBot in the house. Let's try fixed. Doesn't look like it's working. Mark. Doesn't look like it's working, unfortunately. Okay. So it looks like our authentication connection is on the standalone's not working. So, okay, I'll close it down. All right, so we'll just go without Mr. AnnouncerBot for a little bit while we refactor here. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call it the drone game, I think. Or maybe call it CodeRushed. That's what I'm going to do. My intention is to actually use this same code in both streams, even though they're on different channels, which means I'll have to have different authentication pieces that'll be swappable. But I don't think that's going to be too hard. But I want to put all the stuff specifically for CodeRushed here. And the other one, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create another folder here for the new piece we're going to add. I'm going to abbreviate that DH. That's for the name of the other show, which I'm still uncomfortable saying in public. You know, it's like you'd think, Rory, with all of the stuff I do that I create out there, that I would pick some things I can create that I actually talk about. but not the case here. All right, so we're gonna grab drone.
I have to say, kudos on the name. It's a great name.
Yeah, the name is Dragon Humpers. It's a Dungeons and Dragons spoof, is what it is. All right, so
Yeah.
I've got drone proxy. Let's see, we need the gateway in there. Gravity Games, I think, is part of that. Layouts is part of that. Main is part, but I'm gonna keep main here for a second. Meteor, Planet, Portal is part of it. Rocket is part of it. Sparks, the splat sprites, those are for painting the splats on the screen.
Yeah.
Wall and wall sprites, that's all going to go into CodeRushed. Okay, so that's the kind of the work we've done there that's specific to that location. Okay, good.
Yeah. Missed Bumblebee. Is that specific, or is that not even running maybe anymore?
It's kind of, we got some code that references it. We are creating it in anticipation of using it, not actually using it. That was one of those things that we were like, let's do it. And then the chat room was like, really, do we need to do it? I don't want to be Bumblebee. I want to be a drone. I want to be something cool. And I was like, okay, let's stop and let's build a
voting machine
mechanism. And we came back and the answer was,
well, we can't take one person's word for it. We have to canvass everybody, right?
Right. So I'm going to put up here, I guess, quiz, polling.
Yeah.
Polls like that.
That's good.
And inside polling, I'm going to put in quiz and vote. Throw those inside of polls right there like that. And then we're left with digits. So digits is actually a score-keeping kind of thing. I don't think I'm going to use that in the Dragon Humper show. So I'm going to just take digits. I'll throw that over, I think, into the animation engine. I was going to say CodeRushed, but I think I'm going to put it in the animation engine because it's for score-keeping.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice generic piece you could use for a few things.
Okay. So no, so far not really any refactoring yet, just organization. So we've done some organization. Nothing new is happening here. Although in anticipation of this, let's go ahead and add some things. I kind of have a sense of what I want to do here. I'm going to add of what's going to be involved. I'm modeling players in an adventure game. And let's see here. What I want is, I guess, TypeScript. I hate how it's so hard. I really want to have move type to file in CodeRushed. Okay. So anyway, we're going to start by doing this right now. So this is going to be, we're going to say we're going to create one called player, I think. Is that right? Adventurer. I'm going to make it adventurer is what it's going to be because it's kind of a role-playing game. Okay, so adventurer is going to be one of the classes that I'm going to create in the DH folder. Also, this is not happy for me either. The performance issue on that, I have like one of the fastest machines in the world. I'm creating a new file, adding it to a project, and the performance is crazy here. And for once, it's not my fault. So for some reason, so I can speak freely about it as opposed to, guardedly like I do when it's my fault. Wait, do I ever speak guardedly when it's my fault? I think I just come right out.
I'm just trying to find an instance.
I'm
searching, buddy, but
you're searching memory. Yeah, I trash myself as well when it's bad. Okay, so there's my adventurer. I'm going to have a monster class like that.
Yep.
And what else? I think I need a weapon class and a spell class. I think I need a weapon is what I think. Now I'm kind of getting into an area. I know I definitely need those two classes, but now the question is architecturally, is spell going to descend from weapon or is weapon going to descend from like attack?
Well, potentially spells could do things other than attack, right? So you might have defensive stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You just totally changed everything that I was going to do. So maybe I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'm going to, so what else do I need? The adventure, the monster, treasure. Treasure is a class, I think. Treasure, I think, is going to be a class because I'll have treasure chests out there and you'll be able to walk up to them and open them up. And they could become treasure monsters, right? So I'm thinking that's maybe a possibility. Treasure. And I think I'm going to stop right there because nothing else is coming to mind. Now, there's a bunch of logic that we haven't quite done yet. Like the monster is going to be automatic, so it's got to decide an attack within a certain range. It's got to choose what kind of attack it's going to use. I'm feeling that attack is necessary. By the way, Will Bennett says, one big refactoring I would suggest is with the sprites. Right now, the constructors get long, and it tries to do everything with looping, sequential. Got it. Got it. Got it. Will, I hear that suggestion. Um, uh, I am going to think about that. Is what I'm going to do. You could use OOP and do a looping sprite, sequential sprite, then use the decorator pattern to combine. Yeah, I'm going to think about that. We'll see about that. So I'm going to say treasure. We'll add treasure, and I'm going to add. I am going to add attack because I am thinking that we're going to have a number of attack possibilities that are out there. I haven't quite figured out about spell, how we're going to do that, solve that. It may be that attack is an interface. It might be that. I have to think about it. We'll think about it. But I'm feeling.
Well, you got the three main things. You got the adventure, attacking the monster, and getting the treasure. That's pretty good.
And I'm adding attack, so I've got 4. So right there. So those are the pieces.
Fair enough.
Now before I waiting on that to show up.
That is amazing, isn't it? Having to wait that long.
It's crazy to me. It doesn't make sense. There's like I'm like wait.
There's even
what?
a wait cursor on adding a file. I mean,
yeah. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Like with the resources that the Visual Studio team has, there must be something going on that I don't understand because this is a problem that should not be hard. I sent them a bug recently where I had like several hundred animation files that I was deleting, and it took like 2 minutes for it to delete. And I sent them a recording of it, and they were saying, "Yeah, we know about it, and but they haven't prioritized fixing it yet." So, okay, so we're left with main, and with main, we've kind of main is my high priority for refactoring, and and while I agree that I think Will Bennett's suggestion totally has merit with regards to rethinking what we're going to do with Sprite proxy. I mean, because it does a lot of things, and we could certainly break it apart, and that would maybe simplify the constructors a bit. What we've got here is the result of essentially 64 to 128 hours of programming. That's what we've got here, right? I programmed during the show on this, and that's it. I'm not really working on it at all outside of the show. So as a result, we've taken some shortcuts in terms of quality of code, right? Yeah. And one of the shortcuts we've taken is Will's pointed out in terms of sprite proxy. When we've needed new things, we've added them to the constructor, so the constructor's gotten long. But one of the other things that one of the other problems we've got is inside main, and I really haven't talked about these problems. I've just kind of been working around them, but I'll give you a sense of what they are. Main is essentially what loads up and runs. It's what gets everything started, and it gets everything started. It's got some functions in it, but if you look, if we scroll down far enough, we start getting some variables. Wait, more functions. Hold on. Right about here. This is where we actually load things up. And it's not in a function, it's just all by itself in the JavaScript itself. Okay? And this is kind of the problem that we have here. We have essentially, we're loading up, and some of the loading we're doing is common among all the things we want to do. For example, this line of code here, that makes sense regardless of what we're doing, right? That line of code right up there. Regardless of whether we're playing a drone game or another adventure game, something along those lines.
As long as we're drawing something, we're going to need a canvas.
Right, but this line of code, that's very specific to the drone game. And so what I feel like I need somewhere is kind of a game class. And I think I need that in my animation engine, which I now think I'm going to rename to Game Engine.
Okay.
I think.
Sure.
I like how flexible you are, Rory. Okay, that, by the way, that rename, I was just going to say that rename was really fast.
Wow.
But it wasn't fast.
That's so bad it went white.
Yeah, it went white for a
second.
second.
It had no CPU left to draw the screen as a result of renaming a folder.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a drink.
It's an intense operation, man.
I'm going to take a drink and calm down for a second. Okay. All right, we're going to be okay. All right, so in the game engine, I think I need a new class. Whoops. I want to create a new class, and I want it to be I'm going to call it game, I think. Is what I think I'm going to call it. Now, I already have this thing called Gravity Games out here somewhere. And that's over here in this CodeRushed section. So I have a slight borderline conflict in naming collision slightly. Only not in terms of compiling, but in terms of my mind, in terms of tracking, keeping track of what's what. I have something
Yeah.
here called, oh no, it's even worse than that. I actually have a thing called game. So not good. I'm going to rename this, while we only have one of these, to gravity game, like that. And I
Okay.
am going to put it in its own class because that makes sense to do that. Before I do that, though, hold on a second. Gravity game is relied upon by Gravity Games. Okay, so I just need to check that. And is there anything in here that needs to move over? No, no. Just hitting tab to next reference on this, seeing if I land down below. No, and no. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to take Gravity Game and move it to its own class, its own file. So we're going to say there's Gravity Games, come in here, add new item, and we're going to call this Gravity Game. Like that. And waiting for it to show up over here on the side. There it is right there. Flexible. Rory is a regular gymnast.
Oh yeah, I'm backflipping all the time.
He is. He is. He's like, he does two things. He's like, yeah, sure, on anything you say, coupled with, let me explain to you why that thing that just happened that everybody thinks was bad is really good. Those are the two things that Rory does really well. That's why he's here. And he also spots my problems as I'm writing code too as well. So it's all good. Plus we love Rory because he's awesome. Just all about awesome. It's raining all day and he's still bringing a good attitude to the show.
Well, you gotta.
He's going to spin that as a good. Watch it. Listen, here he's going to do it.
What?
Okay.
How do I gotta spin that as a good? It was already good when you said it.
All right, you're right. Okay, so gravity game. Now we have to remember that when we come in and do that, when we create something new, we've got to come over, I think, over into index.
Yeah.
And we got to, now somebody, I remember a long time ago, somebody was like, Mark, you know what you can do? You can do something so you don't have to add these and list these every single time. And I was like, really? And I forgot it.
There's a couple different things we potentially do. Somebody was suggesting Webpack and using some bundling, so effectively they would be downloaded as a single unit, and you'd only have to reference the sort of created bundle. You can also get TypeScript to target making only a single file, a single JS file, rather than making one for each and every one of them.
Yeah.
You do get sort of slight issues with that because you have to tell it the order in which the compilation should happen. So effectively, this file depends on that file, so that it makes sure it puts the JavaScript in the right order. So there's a slight issue with that. However, with what you've just done, I am curious whether that will still physically run, because I'm not sure how const compiles. Have you got consts that were in the game engines, Gravity Games file, which are referenced by the Gravity Game file now?
No, that's what I was checking. When I was hitting tab to next reference, I was seeing none of those constants were referenced.
Okay.
So
they are specific to the Gravity Games. But it'd be nice to sort of run up and prove that everything still works.
Let's do it. I'm hitting here. I clicked on start. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to refresh our view as well. Wait for that to finish building.
Because we've got to catch these errors early. We're doing some broad stroke stuff here, and you get halfway through and it doesn't work. The question is, well, what did we do and how long ago that broke it?
Right, exactly. No, I think it's really good. What you're suggesting. Notice right here between my fingers, that's the build symbol right there that's happening. So we are...
Still no robot.
Oh, there's a robot. Is that the robot?
That's where I thought the robot... Oh, well, that's a smiley face.
It's something.
That's a happy build.
I wonder if that's the robot that Brendan was talking about.
I think he was suggesting they changed it in 2017, maybe, which is a shame because I'm just going to be looking for that all the time now.
I think that's the thing. He suggested that as the thing you can't unsee once you see it. I am going to. I took a giant screenshot of that thing. I think we're gonna have a problem loading. Maybe. I think we're gonna have to do that thing where I shut down all instances of Chrome.
Okay.
Yep, that's the case.
There we go.
We're gonna have to do that. Hold on over here. Over there. Okay, got my screenshot pasted in. And let's go ahead and do that. We're going to stop debugging. kill that. I'm going to kill Chrome.
This is why I like the fact that everything we build is virtual as programmers. If we were engineers and we had to restart the factory and unmangle the stuff that had been produced from the factory every time something went wrong, that would be really scary.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
But we can literally say restart reality, and
Yeah.
it kind of works.
Okay, so I'm going to call this this is like stoned robot. Look at the eyes right there. Don't do drugs, kids, because this is what it's going to look like.
No,
So that's coming from Microsoft people.
it's
Yeah.
sleepy build.
All right. Okay. So let's see what we're doing here. We've loaded up. We're running. I think. Let's play around here. Just do a quick test. Do a launch. Is it because we're not loaded? We're not loaded yet. That's why it's not working.
Okay.
So we're looking at the upper left, right about there. You can see that X is right underneath the cursor there, right underneath the mouse. Where we're looking for that to change to a refresh button. That signifies the end of the load. Load the first time we bring this up is it's a little. Let me just noticing some stuff around the green screen there. Load takes a couple minutes, about a minute the first time we load it up. And then subsequent refreshes generally are much faster. There we go, finished. There's that right there. So the load works. Bring the drones down. Test mix. Here it comes. Boom. Everything looks like it's working.
A lot of things are working.
Okay.
That's a good sign.
So,
We did not break anything.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So good. We're doing it. We're working. That's all good. Okay. So with that the case, I think I'm going to kill everything again. And just so we don't get into that problem, I'm going to kill. I'm going to just right now. I'm going to kill Chrome. And
Preemptively killing.
Yeah, because I know it doesn't work. Okay. So we've got a game. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me show you what's on my mind on here. I'm going to create a new class called game. And I want to create some functions inside of it, some methods inside. So I'm going to have a new function called update screen. And it's going to take a context, which I think I've got a variable type CTX. Is that what I called it? Whoops, CTX. Yeah, there we go. Canvas rendering context 2D. I didn't want to remember that, so I created a CodeRushed template for that. It actually wasn't so much a template; it was a
entry in a dynamic list.
Yeah, template name variable. So let me show you that just so you can see that here. If you click on template name variables and you come in, I think I'm in probably JavaScript, mite types. Right here, I for CTX, that's the piece. So I basically said CTX is equal to this, SP is equal to sprite proxy, SPS is equal to sprites, VT is equal to vote. And so with that, I can then combine those with the other templates like V for variable. So I just type in V for variable and then CTX, and CodeRushed gives me that. So it just saves me some time. So call it context. Here's another one that comes with CodeRushed, N for number. And so now I can just type in now, and it adds the comma for me automatically. So there's my update screen. Okay, I think I want to have another function in here called initialize, because I'm thinking about what's happening inside of main that we want to move over into game.
So is this going to be game as in an abstract that we'll inherit from?
Yeah.
And then we'll have our drone game and then our RPG game kind of thing?
Yes, exactly,
There we go.
exactly. That's what it's going to be. And so what I want to do is so we very least we need upstream screen. Oh, the other thing we need is handle command. I think we need handle command. Let's go see what the signature for that is over here. Let's look for this. Handle
One up.
command. All right, I got two of those. I want this one here. Wait, handle question command. How did I get there? Execute command is what I want. Execute. No. It's in main is where it is. Handle. Let's look at this again. I'm not seeing anything in main. Where is it? What is this called in main?
Is it that we're not seeing anything in main because none of the things in main are in a class of any kind? Perhaps the system is expecting that to be the case.
I don't know. Let's look and see what we've got. This may be a...
Because you're right, there's a lot of things that are in main.
Wait, I'm in the wrong spot. Let's get to main. Let's come over here.
Because that's the one
Execute command.
distinction between this file and all the others, is there is no class here. These are all sort of global functions.
Now, why didn't I find that? Execute
That's there
execute
now.
command. It's at the end. Oh, interesting. I wonder if was it because I give it an uppercase E?
Did before.
No, it found it.
Still there.
Can you put a note and see?
Yep.
Have a dev look at what just happened and see if there's any explanation for that.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about this. Thanks a lot, Rory. All right, so I need this is what I need, and I need this in game. I need that signature there, and so there's my execute command. And we can get rid of the word function there. And I think that's it.
Well, it's good for a start, isn't it? We can probably begin making ourselves our drone game and porting the pieces out of main.
Yes.
Into that.
That's what I want to do.
Once we've handled all the update screens, the initialization and execute command, if there's anything left, we can always add another abstract item if we need to.
Yes, we can. It's awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's do drone game. Like that. And just waiting. Okay, there it is there. Let's come back over. Whoops, not there. Game is where I wanted to go. I wanted to take all of this, come over here. And drone game extends game. Like that. That's what I think.
Yep.
And I guess I'll say super. I'll call super here. Like that. And then now let's start copying some code across. And this is where it's going to get a little messy. So I think what I want to do is create a vertical tab group here. And I think I want to actually put drone game on the right and put main on the left. And let's go through. This is where it's going to get messy. By the way, I think these two pieces need to come in game. I think they totally do. And there. So they're in game. The other piece I just realized I need to add game and drone game to our pages piece over here.
Oh, good point. Yes.
Game is pretty low level. But you know what? Maybe it works with these things up here. Maybe it's at least knows about sprites. No, sprites. So we'll do this. And this is going to be our game, like that. And then we'll put our drone game down over here, way at the end. Did I get the ones I added? Is there anything else? I think that's all I did is I added those two pieces.
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay, Bumblebee doesn't need to be so low. Bumblebee needs to be kind of out here more, I think. We'll put it at least there. Okay, let's go back to main. All right, so let's go through what we got here. Load copyrighted content. That seems useful for game. So let's cut that. Let's put game over on the right panel as well. Okay, so we're going to have that piece up here too as well. So we can choose whether that's going to happen or not. Come back over here to main. All right, so now we've got put meter on drone, collect coins in rect, collect coins. Guess what? All of these are going to go over to drone game. I think is what I think they're going to go, at least for now. Those all come over here, and we got to get rid of the word function on all of these. Anybody nervous that I'm making substantial radical changes more than I need to? Okay, here's update screen. And update screen, I think we're taking, here we go, hold on. This is going to go into here. So that update screen is going to clear it, okay? So then what we're going to do here is call super, which doesn't exist yet. But when I move it, it'll work. Anybody nervous that I'm making all of these crazy changes? And then I'm going to grab all of this, put it over. And by the way, this is why I love TypeScript. So what we're doing is TypeScript is it's so much safer to do this in TypeScript. The only problem is, so here's my update screen. So we're going to call super, right? Super dot update screen, context, comma now. Let's make sure that, let's drill into that, make sure that that got that signature right. Yeah, I did. Okay, we're good. And this shouldn't be my context. This should be the context, I think, like that. And we've got to throw, now remember, Rory, we've got to throw my context at update screen. We've got to do that at some point in time. In fact, let's fix that right now. Over in main.
You've got something on the clipboard though. What is it you're about to paste?
Yeah, let's do that in too. That's going to come in here.
If you want a bit more screen real estate, we can either collapse Solution Explorer, but there's also a full screen mode, which might prove useful at the moment.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's bring up full screen mode. It's a little bit, some blocks behind me.
It's not a huge amount better, that's true, but might make it easier with 3 files, perhaps.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, so we need to add some of thises here, I think. There's some of that going on. In fact, we're going to add a lot of thises, I think, is what we're going to do, because we're going from globals to locals is what is going to be happening here. This call to update, okay, so
that looks a little strange.
Yeah, that's not going to go there. This is not going to go here either. We need to get out to, we do need the function update screen here. And what we need is like something like active game dot, and so let's declare this so that you can see where I'm going on here. So we're going to have some variable active game, and it's going to be a type of game, like that. And so we're going to say active game dot update screen dot my context. So we're going to throw it my context, and then we're going to throw it the essentially pfn performance dot now is what we're going to do. Send it at it like that. And I think we need something like this. Whoops. If active game, then we're going to update the screen like that. And then there's my update screen for my set interval call, which I'm okay with. And to be honest, update screen, start game. I think we're going to need to play with this. Here's what I'm thinking. Consider having a start game function in game that we call. And the start game does set interval.
Sure.
Does a set interval call. Like that. So it decides, and it can decide its frame rate or something along those lines.
At which point you wouldn't necessarily be calling update screen from outside any longer.
Yes, that's right. In which case we would have to come in and kill it, is what we would have to do. So, but for now, we're going to do this. Okay, so active game, update screen.
Okay.
Handle key down event. Oh, that's for the standalone testing, and we're not really doing that anymore. Let's do this. Let's create another class here. And the game engine, and we'll just call this key testing, keyboard maybe. Add new item, call it keyboard, like that. So keyboard.ts is coming in, and what I'm going to do here is I am going to, I think, not actually include it, but I'm going to move the code over. So I'm not going to include it in my pages until the moment I need it. Whoops, I've got into some functions here. There's looks like the end of it. So I'm moving that over here. And
There's a slightly more functional version of commenting stuff out. So it's not actually commented out. It is still being syntax checked. It will cause errors if we conflict with it in any way, but it doesn't interfere with the main game. It doesn't get included, doesn't get referenced, will allow us to prove that it's not actually necessary. And at the same time, you're cleaning up main TS at the same time.
Right, exactly. So there we go. So keyboard.ts now has a handle key down event. All that old code is in there. That was code I could press when I just had the browser up on my local machine, but makes no sense for the game itself, for anything that people can play, because
that's right, because we can't hit your keyboard from a distance.
Exactly. So that is, I've got it in the game engine fine. I'm fine with that for now. So I'm going to close that down, and we'll keep looking through main over here. Let's go. We'll try the full screen look on that, and we'll see how that works. Let's see what we've got here. We'll keep going down. And execute command. So execute command is going to be very similar. It's going to basically say if active game, then active game dot execute command, and we're going to pass in these parameters here, like that. And I really want my smart paste, so I don't have to do this. And color's the last one. Okay, and then this all goes down into execute command. Wait, actually not. Hold on. There is, well, we'll put it there now. Hold on. We're going to put it over here now in drone game. And this is probably going to be this dot collect coins. Yeah. And I've got an initialize. What's wrong here? Cannot find name initialize. Wait a minute. What does that mean? My braces aren't matching? What's wrong?
Looks all right.
And I think I've got an extra. I have an extra one. That's my problem. There we go. Okay. Control get E. Pretty sure that was the key problem. Okay, now we've got execute command. These should fix that themselves. There we go.
There we go. Good.
Okay. Let's do. No, wait. I'm good with it. I'm good. I'm good with the chain thing I was going to say I was going to do before. Execute command, and let's pass in the parameters, which it's going to take me less time if I just find the call. Wait, where's the call? Where's the call? Come on, it was right over here in main. Mark the time on there, Rory. Tab this reference on that. Okay, that's what I wanted to grab right there. Super dot execute command, those pieces right there. So we're going to call that. And I think I want execute command to return a Boolean now.
Okay.
So there's my Boolean. It's returning at the end there, right above my head. Let's do this. Let me switch over to a wider view here of this thing. The part of the code is going to be blocked by the chat room, but we're kind of doing this because we've got this kind of dual screen kind of thing that we're trying to work out. I'll try to work in the upper part of the screen. So now what I want to do is I want to say if execute command, then return, get out of here, like that. Okay, so we can return true or false. So if super takes care of it, then we're good. Now what I want to do is I want to find the commands that I want to execute regardless of what games we do, which are start quiz, show last quiz results, answer quiz, silent answer quiz, clear quiz, all of those. And I think that's it. Test command. Not sure about that. Oh,
challenging one, because the test you might want to do would vary.
Right.
based on which game you're playing.
No, I got a great idea for how we're going to do this. We'll solve this with inheritance and object-oriented structure. So execute command right here. This is the ancestor in game. So now what we want to do, because we want the basic game to be able to handle putting quizzes up. And so if command is equal to start quiz, then start quiz now. Really? Why don't I have a now passed in here? All right, fine. Execute command needs a now. So let's go to where it's called. And again, we're not finding it over here. It's got to come from over this place. Why doesn't it have a now here? Is there
Because it's getting it from performance.now on the right-hand side there, line 128.
right-hand side 128? Oh.
Now, you know, either works.
Taking them out of there. No, it doesn't belong there. It belongs here. We're going to put it there, right like that. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add it as a parameter here, like that. So there's my, there I'm adding it there. Going to come in over here, VN now, like that. So VN is just a variable type number, and then I just type in now. Now I've got now being passed into it. Let's tap the next reference here. Do we have the now over here added? No, we do not. VN again, type in now. It's happening right behind the chat window. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, there we go, like that. And then we want to pass in now, like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is let's go back into the super right there, execute command. If this is the case, then we're going to return true. Return true. Return true. Return true. Return true. Else we're going to say return false. Like that, which is right there at the end. So that's the code we've added there. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Let's see. So execute command. If the super is good, then we're out. Otherwise, we're going to do this. Well, here's what I want to do. I want to do this. I want to put this up in super. I want to start with this. I want to say if command is equal to the test command, then, you know what, since I've got all these returns, I think I like doing this. I'm going to get rid of all these pieces right here, and then we're just going to do this, I think. And then now up here, I'm going to say RT. Well, am I? No, I am. So this is going to be RT, return true right here. And now what I want to do is I want to have this function called a test, but I want to say this dot test, like that.
Okay, and we can override what the test is.
Yes, exactly. And so
now, of course, this presumes that we'll always have a test that needs the same parameters.
Well, these are the parameters
well, I say the
that
same
are available.
initial parameters. Yeah, that's true.
These are the ones that are available when it comes from our hub. So our hub is going to have those available to it. So we're going to say so params is going to be the test command to become test command here, like that. And let's see, params, user ID, username, color. And I think we want to put in now. Oh, we do. Good. Like that. So that's happy for me. And now let's move over. Let's take our test stuff and move that over. Let's go find test. Here, this one right here. And well, actually, let's move over only the pieces that would be universal, which I don't think we have any universal tests.
No.
Okay, so that's good. So nothing's happening there in test, and then, but I think we want to do. I think we want to do a return a boolean here too, as well, and this one's going to return false. Okay. So that's the ancestor. So now then we're going to go down into drone game and we're going to pop in test over here. And let me do this so we can see a little more of the code I'm working on here. Scroll it up a bit. And we're going to basically be if super dot test, passing in test command, user ID, display name, color. Now, if it's true, then we're going to basically return true.
You
true
deleted a curly brace there, mate.
Thank you. If that's the case. So we do a call inherited and we're out. Otherwise, we are going to do all this stuff and essentially return true. I think that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So let's grab all of this. I'm just going to delete all of that, or shift cut it to the clipboard rather, paste it in over here, comment this out. I guess I don't think I need that anymore. Yeah, I don't, because that was coming from the last test piece, which we removed. We removed it from here. So instead, this will come in from here. And let's do two things. I want to call this test command, but it's params in all the code. So I'm going to replace it with params, then hit rename and paste in my test command, which I copied to the clipboard.
Nice.
So very quick way to change that. Next, we want to do something along these lines. We want to say, do I want to do return true on each one of these? I think I want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you the scope to inherit from drone game a bit further and have a specialized drone game test, perhaps, wherein everything runs up and you need to have some automated things. And then there's more commands added by that level. So when it checks and sees they're not implemented by this level, it'll carry through correctly.
Yeah, it does give us the chance to do it. It's unlikely to happen, so I'm kind of like making changes here based on things that are unlikely to happen, but it's kind of a better design, I think, is the way I want to say that.
Okay.
So let's, wait, what's this connected to? Hold on.
That's the oh, hang on.
It's just is missing a semicolon. That's what was the problem there. Okay. Yeah, it's in the for each. It was missing a semicolon. Okay. RT here. RT, whoops, to return true. RT. And we've almost done. Whoops, this has got to be in braces. Do I have selection embedding here? Nope, I don't. Okay. Here it is. Okay, and then I'm down to if, else. Do I want to do it all the way across the board here? I think I kind of do, is what I think I want to do. I'm thinking of other ways to do this and solve this. Will says, so the super would have an array of command objects. Wait, hold on, I'm going back here, right here a second. You should probably add timescale, elapsed time to the update method so you can start passing that down in order to have predictable time steps. Missing a semicolon on line 47. I think we found that one. Let's double check. Line 47 must be of this file. Yep. Nope. Saved us. Good job, Will. Probably should do a command object, list of commands, and do a commands find. Execute the first one. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. So command. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I'm like, I think I'm not doing that right now. I think I'm going to fight my way through this for right now, and then we'll likely do that at some point in the future. But I totally agree. Totally agree with that. All right. Whoops. That goes there. I'm going to format all this in a second. What is going on? That's the one I want. Almost done. Last one. Boom. There. And then RF to return false. And there we go. Okay. So yeah, I agree with that, Will. Something to think about and do in the future. Rory, you want to give everybody a review of where we've been up to this point? I'm going to just shout something out.
Yeah,
in this.
absolutely. So what we've got here is from the start, we've basically taken our game and we've realized that there's going to be a second game. Okay. And essentially what we need to do is to take those parts of our game that are universal and extract them out into a game object which we inherit from. We're also going to tidy up our main TS as a result. So we're going to take a lot of the code that's been out there, put it into a more structured location within our derived drone game. Then we're going to run everything up, prove it still works, and then we'll be able to start descending in a different direction for what I believe is going to be an RPG game.
Yeah.
So essentially this is all about taking the code we've got, not really adding any extra functionality, but refactoring it, just morphing it back into a more sensible, more maintainable shape, which in this case will support two code bases, two end products based out of the same engine.
Yes. I got a start quiz function over here. I think I'm going to move start quiz over. At the very least, I'm going to put it over in game, I think, for now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put
It's
it
being
outside
called
of
from
game.
there.
Yeah, I'm going to put it outside of game because I'm almost now thinking we should have a quizable game, and then we can start really exploiting the inheritance here. So, in fact, I'm going to do that because that's what I'm feeling. So let's do this. Let's I'm going to copy to here. I'm going to paste. I'm going to end this. So now I've copied game up here, and it's essentially got a whole bunch of these in it right here. Then I'm going to come down here and call this quizable game, quiz game, or game plus quiz. Maybe like that. Am I doing the right thing? And it's going to extend game. Extends game.
Yep.
Well, this is the direction I said a moment ago, but now as soon as I start doing this, I'm like, is this really the way I want to be able to switch this on or off? We need to say, I think what, super? We need to look at our constructor. Constructor is the same here. So is it just missing a call to super? Is that what the problem is?
I think it is just a call to super, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Scroll up. Super, like that. Update screen. So this one I think is already up there. It clears the rect, so we're going to say super. Context now. And initialize, we're going to throw that up there too as well. And test. Nothing is going to happen there. This moves up to this execute command. Okay.
So if that's there, then your derivative is going to have to call up to there.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, it's in your execute. Yes.
I agree. It's going to have to do it. So we're going to come in here, and also this has got to return a Boolean right there. That kind of went just off screen. Let me show you that. I just added that bit of code there for execute command. Let me move this back over to the left side here because I feel like I'm fighting this kind of natural tendency to scroll down behind the chat window. And so let's see. We've got execute command here. We are inside of game plus quiz.
Okay, so all the quiz commands go there. That's good.
I'm changing it to quizable game. Quiz. See, I'm wondering, should this be a property instead that just adds the functionality? Like, should the game support quizzes or not? That's what I wondered as soon as I started writing this, because then I'm thinking, oh, maybe. But you know what? I'm just going to say game plus quiz for now. I'm going to go along with what I said. So let's see, game plus quiz.
So now your drone game needs to inherit from this. Otherwise, it'll bypass the quizable.
Yep, absolutely. So now let's go over to the drone game right here.
On the right. There we go.
And that's going to extend game plus quiz. And I feel like I missed something I forgot in all of that because I was thinking, well, should I do this or not? And I feel like I've forgotten it. But with that said, let's, I feel like I'm about ready to build is what I'm feeling like, Rory. Is there anything else you feeling I'm missing at this point?
It's definitely a good time to try a build. because we have done quite a few things,
we've still got
and it would be good to know that this all still works.
All right, let's do a build. We've still got a lot of global functions and global variables, and I want to move those across, move those out over here. Also,
but having said that, assuming this does build and run as before, it is still in much better condition than it was. This is definitively an improvement. So whilst there is a work still to do, we have achieved a fair amount.
I would agree. By the way, I just noticed that my white balance had been running the whole time and turning me blue. So I've changed that up a bit, so I look a little bit better. Okay, it's still building. The icon is over to my right, the bottom right over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're watching that icon build. Remember, kids, look for this symbol right here during the build. If you find it, you win
a brand new car. No, maybe
the
not.
internet. Okay, looks like did it? Oh no, it didn't finish. Wait, why is it not? Interesting. It just moved in terms of where it is on screen. No, wait, it finished. Build succeeded. Okay, build succeeded. I say we test it. And we test it by, we have to add a couple of more lines of code to make it work. We have to say, we need to come in here and we need to say, active
to initialize,
game
we're going to have a game
equals new drone game.
Yeah.
Like that. And I think that's all we need to do. And now if we run it, let's see what happens. Wouldn't it be nice if that whole thing kind of worked?
Oh, yeah.
It may not load. We may have to kill Chrome. I forgot about that part. Oh, no, it's loading. The fact that we see localhost, that means we're good to go. But, however, we have this really fast. It loaded very quickly.
Yeah, that was a very quick load and not a lot of side effects.
Okay, failed to load resource 404 not found. What's going on here?
Could not find drone game. Drone game not there.
That
seems awfully strange.
Well,
it knew to go looking for it, so it's listed in the HTML, right? But it's as if there was nothing generated from it.
That feels and sounds right to me. Let's just double check that. Drone game is here. It is in fact listed there. I don't understand. I don't get that at all.
Also, game, gravity game, and drone game a second time at main TS. Drone game is not defined at main TS.
Hold on. Why is that the case? Drone game is coming in before main.
Oh, is it building it into a relative path? So that because you've moved things into subfolders, they'll exist in parallel subfolders? Or does it all go into one physical location? That does look like it's all in the one physical location.
But we don't have drone game in here, though. Do I have to
That's
specify?
not good.
Yeah, I thought we had an option that said it was going to put it all in one folder, is what I thought we were going to do.
Yeah.
What is happening? I do not understand that.
Is it just that the JS file is not physically showing up in the Solution Explorer? So, for example, mind you, that's the script document. So that's everything that's referenced. How about we look in Explorer to find actually what is physically in play?
Hold on, I want to double check this because it's not in alphabetical order. Make sure there's no drone game here. Okay, there's no drone game here in our script documents.
I wonder if what happened was when we decided to move these things into subfolders, they started building in subfolders relative to that final location, but we never got rid of the preceding JS files that were generated. So we were running on old JS files up until that point, and still are to a degree.
I like that idea. That's like a great idea.
So it's only things that are new that are missing.
All right, let's see what I can do in terms of finding this. Let's see. Going out, loading up finding the file, the folder.
It does also mean, if that's the case, that our previous test was invalid because it wouldn't have been generating on the basis of the new locations. Oh, sorry, it wouldn't have been running on the new locations. It would have been running on the preceding old locations.
Right. Really good point. Hold on a second. I am in, here, let me show you. I'm over here in, here's where the source is for this.
Okay. So what you're looking for is, are there any JS files at all in the subfolders, in the CodeRushed folder, in the game engine folder? There are. Interesting.
But they're the
And
same
that's
names
sort of,
as the pieces that are out
yeah,
here.
that sort of backs up the theory then, doesn't it? Because that means that all
Yeah.
the files you see where they are, that were allegedly moved elsewhere, weren't then removed.
All right, so let's do this. As crazy as this sounds, let's take all our JS files and hit delete on them. Let's hit all our map files as well, and we'll hit delete on them as well. And I think we'll rebuild.
Now, the other thing you're going to have to do is, in that index HTML file, you're going to have to reference the JS files in their new subfolder locations.
Are you sure? I was hoping that I wouldn't have to.
Pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you're right, because they're putting them in those new locations, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's build again and then look at this folder after we build. So let's stop running, stop debugging. Let's build one more time, rebuild solution. Let's see what happens out here. Okay, there's the build thing right next to me over there to my right. Got some errors. Well, I like errors.
Well, yeah. That's interesting. Those are TS errors, so they can't find the
Yep.
TS,
I love
but
that we
they
got
could
errors.
before.
Maybe because of the file problem? I don't know. Let's do rebuild and see what else comes up. What we get. How are you doing on time over there, Rory? I just noticed we're about an hour in.
Yeah, I can go about another 15 minutes or so.
Looks like I'm seeing some weird stuff coming across on the stream here. Hold on. Let's see. That one looks
Oh
good.
yeah, that's a little strange.
Switch back over to the stream. See
Sections being highlighted. It's like an amalgamation between two screens.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure that out. Okay.
God,
What do we do? Our build's still running?
yeah. So yeah, I'm betting that there's a bunch of those JS files, which of course are no longer going to be in the source folder directly, and we're going to have to tell them about subfolders that those are to be in. I'm also a little curious whether the TypeScript that we've got is fully capable of finding. Although no, that doesn't matter. Never mind.
All right. So now in source, we've got only main.js.
Which actually is a lot cleaner and a lot nicer in some respects.
Yeah, I like it. Let's see what happens when we run. So now, if your theory is right, Rory, well, let's see if
We should
load.
get a whole load more JS files that cannot be found.
I think we're not going to load. I think I've got to kill. Yeah, I've got to kill. That's my message that I got to kill Chrome. So let's do that. Chrome is dead. Let's start up again. Here we go. Here's the restart. And now I kind of, if I were going to bet on it, I would bet that you'll be right, Rory, that we're going to get some errors here, that it's not going to be able to find it. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that.
There we go.
You were so smart, Rory. I love that. Okay, folders is not defined. I have a feeling a lot of these we can fix just by getting them, referencing them in the right spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. And you're right, our previous test was not valid. That doesn't happen often to me. Like, I want to say my life, that's happened like maybe 5 to 15 times, but it's a huge deal when that happens. In other words, when your test results are giving you false positives or false negatives, that everything's great. Okay, so let's go bring up the code. Let's go here and let's figure out where everything is. So now Looking over in source, it looks like it's in animation engine is where most of a lot of the stuff moved. So let's grab that animation engine. And
Right, so this would be anything that we considered completely generic that we were going to keep for both games, so to speak.
Right, exactly. So let me get the right thing I need on the clipboard. And we're going to come down here.
Question to the chat room. Anybody who's used TypeScript before, can you tell us, is there a way to configure the tsconfig so that it removes the JS files from the previous build so that this wouldn't happen to us? We would have found out the first time around that these files were no longer being generated to the same location. That would be quite useful. As we move things around, we don't want to get stung by this again.
Sprite collection. And I think that's it for, part. That's coming from the animation engine. And random is also, let's move those a little more. I kind of want to, I think it makes a lot of sense to load the animation engine first.
Yep.
And let's do that. And then the rest of this is coming, so the quiz and vote, those need to be coming from the polling place. So let's move those down and find out their folder next. Okay, animation engine is there, polls is what it is. Okay, so polls, like that. Caps lock.
I think we also suggested digits was going to be a non-game specific thing. I think there might have been an animation engine item.
I think you're totally right.
Everything else there looks very much like a drone game based thing, which is our CodeRushed folder.
Yep. Okay. All right. So that, let's see if that works now.
CodeRushed is not necessary on the very last item, main.js, because that is in the root.
Good job. Good job, Roy. All right. Let's try that. So we're going to come back.
So this would just be a quick refresh, and it should just work because refresh of index.html. Ooh, very much not. Well, it was a theory. Didn't quite pan.
All right. What's my problem? What's my error here? What does it say here? Get.
I blame Will for that, by the way. He says earlier on, where was it now? Rory's correct as always. Well, the second you said that, I was wrong.
I don't think it was that you were wrong. I think that Will was wrong. I'm not really following the logic through and applying it to you yet. I just think that Will was clearly wrong, and we're stopping right there.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is odd because it's odd, right? Because usually
Bill Bennett rocks.
That's usually what happens, but unfortunately, his fall from grace documented here today on Show 64. All right, just kidding, Will. You're rocking as always. Always giving us good advice in terms of what we should be doing. All right, so error aborted 404.
It's kind of weird. 404 we were getting before, but not in quite such a sort of violent way. That the error aborted is quite a shouty way of declaring what seems like a very similar thing.
Let's look at folders.js here. What is going on here? Where is it listed? I don't even see it listed here.
No.
Is that my problem?
Oh, the space. I would not have assumed that myself.
Hold on. Oh, it's right up here. It's right up here.
They're hiding.
It's right up there. Okay.
Did we move that? I guess that's in animation engine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Let's double check it. Where are we? We're in CodeRushed. Did you see it? I don't think
animation engine at the top of.
Yeah, it's over here. It's in game engine.
Oh, okay. So game engine in this case. Okay.
Yeah. Wait.
Which is not the same. Hang on a second. Aha. That's correct. Now, so here we've got two copies of the same thing. We don't need animation engine. That's another residual existence thing. None of them should be animation engine.
Yeah.
They should all be game engine.
Yeah.
Yep. Fell over the same bug twice in a row.
We did. Remember when I said it's only happened like 5 times or 15? It's now 6 or 16 times that it's happened to me now. Okay, so there's game engine, and we've got folder in there. Let's try refresh one more time. Let's see what happens here. Anything else that we need to worry about over here? Let's see what happens. Ooh, now it's fewer. Gravity is, it says it's in JS.
Hold the
Gravity is in the
hell.
wrong place. Hold on. Gravity is, wait, where's gravity?
Very near the bottom.
There it is. Thanks. Excellent. Okay, so gravity is definitely part of the
Still
game engine.
having folders is an issue.
Really? Wait, let's see. Where is it? What do we have here? Folders is not defined at index 5. Hold on.
Oh, right. So that's a variable which, well,
It's a variable?
yeah. So,
Hold on. Oh, yeah. From the
right. We
folders
need
class.
to move that under the first reference again.
I see it. I totally see it. I'm with you. This does need to go up here
I
because
have
of
to
that.
say, I love the comment we've got for ourselves there that order is important.
Yeah.
How very true.
Yeah, it is. What's happening?
No, you put one one line higher.
There we go. Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Order is important. Let's do this even up to here. Let's move it up to here now. So now we're going like that. Okay, good. All right, so let's go back, refresh. Okay. Animation style.
Which
Not there. Should
shockingly
be
an animation-y thing, and
Yep.
thus now a game engine thing.
Should be up here for sure. And it's game engine. I feel like we're getting close though.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looking better and better.
Refresh. No errors.
Ooh.
No errors. But are we loading? Yeah, we're loading.
Hey, check it out. We have animation.
And let's try now doing a launch. Oh, wait, it's not done. We'll wait for it to finish loading. Look for that refresh icon in the upper left here. That's what we're looking for.
So when Mr. AnnouncerBot is on the stream, that is not visible to anybody except me, because we have our CodeRushed launch icon over the top of that bit. It's getting there. It's thinking about it.
I think your assets variable is still incorrect. No? Is the question? Wait, I need to look at that. Assets.
So this is the 14 through 16.
Here. Oh, if is the value. No, I think that's.
Now, I don't think we
that's
changed the location of the assets. Well, the graphical assets anyway. We did change the location of the JavaScript, which is why we've been
Yeah.
having some of these issues.
It's all here. Although I think we do need to change it. I think this is going to be our CodeRushed assets, and I'm going to create another set of assets
That's fair.
for the other
Yeah.
piece. In fact, this code should be moving into the initialization, I think. It absolutely does. This shouldn't be here. We'll fix that. We're running now, so we'll fix that. Let's see. We're done loading. Let's do launch. Oh no! What?
I just hit drone, you hit launch, and it vanished. That was exactly what we got earlier on.
Collects coins and rect of undefined. Undefined is this. Collect coins called drone game.
We're in a for each. We haven't bound this in the same fashion as we should. In fact, we're in two for eaches. We can't reference this in the same way at all. I forget the specific one we are. I think it's an arrow function we're
All
supposed
right, let's
to
look
use.
at this. We're in drone game dot 29, line 29. I mean, let's look at that. Drone game, line 29. Okay.
Because we moved this function here and then prepended this dot to the collect coins in rect, but that is not something we can count on from within a nested for each.
Right. Okay. That's it. So I totally agree. That's a change that we made. I think this is there's the function in the for each. So we're going to say this. And then on the outer one, I think we got to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think we got to also pass in the
sounds good.
discard so that this is valid. See, right? Because what happens is this will be null unless we also do this here, I believe.
Yeah.
I
The
think-
only alternative is a new declared variable outside of both of them, which is referenced from inside. And that's, I don't know, a little bit messier maybe.
Yeah, I think it is. Let's see what, I like this better. All right, so let's see. Let's see if this works any better. Getting ready to do the launch after we do the load. My eyes are right up here. Looking to see when that X turns to a refresh symbol, indicating the end of the load. But we are getting some spinning coins, and we're getting the CodeRushed logo /rocket. That's up there.
Many things are working.
So, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of this. The other thing is we're also not only we're refactoring organizationally, but we're also taking global functions and making them part of a class. And so
Sure.
things like problems like we just saw there, where this was undefined inside the for loop, we're likely to encounter again as we continue to clean up the code. But
That's right. A bunch of things that were accessible from just about anywhere are now going to be enclosed within something that we believe to be more sensible. But that does mean that if we've been accessing them from some strange places, that we might not be allowed to do that anymore.
yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I think it's good. It's all good. The direction. All right, there we go. Let's see the launch, and that works.
I'm out.
I'm feeling like we're pretty good. Let's do a test. Test mix is what I think I called it. Test did not work. Did I get the wrong name right? Test sample 1. Tests are not working.
Okay.
Why aren't the tests working? Let's look at the code for a second. See if we can spot it.
So we are in a drone game, and the drone game is the thing that will be passed the instruction to run a test. It will then call back into the quiz game. And if the quiz game does not manage to do anything... Oh, sorry, no, actually, this is not true. Sorry. The drone game will initially call into its ancestor, which will call into its ancestor. And then from the top level, if the game does not handle this, it will allow quiz game to handle this. And since that is not the case, it should be that it's passed right back out to drone game again.
So if we did execute command, here's the problem. Is that we need to, instead of returning true here, we need to return the results of
Okay, yeah,
test.
the inner result has to be passed further out.
Yeah, that is, whoops, we want to do that. So we're going to return just that. And then I think we're okay.
Yeah.
That I think has a shot at fixing it. So let's do a refresh over here. Get ready for the launch. This I think should be faster refresh than the others. I'm expecting it, but I think I was expecting the last one to be faster too, and it was slower. So I'm not sure why my refreshes are taking so long. Let's give away a copy CodeRushed while we're waiting.
Good plan.
Here we go. It's time for
CodeRushed giveaway.
Woohoo!
today's winner.
Darth Minios.
Wait, what? Darth Minios was last time.
I recognize that.
Now, hold on a second. What's happened? Oh, you know what? I know what happened. Hold on a second. Let me close that. Let me see what happens if I do this. Is that going to work?
Cam does cool stuff.
That's today's winner. Cam does cool stuff. My apologies for not double checking that there, though. But we'll have to.
Little smaller.
A little smaller, and it's not an AVI. But Cam does cool stuff is today's winner, not Darth Minios. That was yesterday's. Apologies for that. All right, we're
Well,
loaded.
congratulations anyway. You've got a copy of CodeRushed. We'll contact you and explain exactly how you can get that.
Right, Darth Minios won on the last show, so it's no big deal. Okay, so there we go. Launch is working. The drone is working. Let's see if the test commands now work. Test mix. That didn't work, right? Test sample. Not working. Okay, so let's look at the code again. Why is that failing? So we are going to return false here on this one, test command, in our quiz plus with our test quiz plus game. Oh, interesting. We're not, we're returning false here, but that's okay.
That's because there are no test commands for the plus quiz.
I think we should return super.test and passing in all of these pieces. Test command. What did you say, Rory?
I can't remember.
Okay, that's all right.
It can't have been that important.
In fact, if anything, it was probably insulting to me, is what I read.
Oh,
And our
as if.
audience. It was probably a mean thing you were going to say. You were saying, and we
Because I'm
stopped you and
just
saved
so
it.
like that.
Yep, that's exactly it. Okay, so we're going to return the super of that. Let's go down and look at our drone game test and see what's going on there. What's going on in that code? We might have to just do a breakpoint in here and see what's going on. Drone game. Where's our test call? There's execute command. Here's test. If super test, then we return true. Otherwise, we keep going. So this should all work. Something's not working. Let's set a breakpoint, see if we can step through it. Okay, so we'll come over here. Will Bennett says, Roy, we can't hear you over the rain. Interesting. Okay, so test mix, and let's see if we are at the breakpoint. We do not even hit the breakpoint.
Right, so when we type the command in, it actually goes to drone game execute command first.
Yes.
Yeah. And then from execute command, it's immediately calling its super of execute command, which goes up to the quiz game.
It's right here. This is what we're looking for here. I'm going to put a breakpoint here and see if we stop.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try
Sure.
try one more time over here. Test mix. Not stopping. We're not even here.
Where's the translation between the word test into the phrase test command?
That happens out in the overlay. Pretty sure. Let's try one more
Okay.
time. Because I haven't changed this code today. So let's try test mix with the breakpoint there on execute command. I'm not even seeing that get hit. Why am I not getting that one? That's in game.
All right, what about
command.
drone game execute command?
Wait, yeah, are we calling super there? Maybe that's our failure. That's our failure. No, wait, test. Hold on, right here. Nope, we're calling it in drone game. Let's set a breakpoint there.
Okay.
See what happens. One more time. I want this to be a simple explanation. There's my breakpoint, finally.
There's a
Okay.
return there, which is not returning a true or a false.
Yeah, okay. Fine.
I don't know if it needs to,
I
but
can do that, but let's go find out what this must be returning true. Execute command in the ancestor. Here we go. Let's look at this code. It should totally return false.
the execute command does not. No, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Execute
that's
command
it.
does not call its super, and
There you
therefore
go.
test command, which is registered at the higher level, is never executed.
There you go. Thank you. All right. I wanted it to be simple, and it's simple, I think. Let me just hit run so we're not locking up. Like, remember we have that lockup problem where if we're at a breakpoint long enough, it just seems to lock up. All right, we'll come in here. We'll strip these out. Oh my God, Rory, send an email to the team on my behalf saying we really need smart paste in JavaScript so that I can clean all these up when I'm pasting these in as parameters. Okay, so if we execute the command at the ancestor level, we're going to return true. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the
Yeah.
missing piece, right? And so if it's
Yep.
that, then we do that, and then I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I think that's going to fix it. All right, one more time. Let's refresh. And if this works, Rory, I think maybe it's time to we'll wrap up the show. for
Fair
today.
enough.
So we're going to give away a copy of CodeRushed. We've been going for
Come
about
on,
90
those
minutes.
test commands.
And we've done a fair amount of work. It's like I'm totally up for continuing to program, but I'm also like, well, I should have lunch. You know,
Got to remember to eat.
move on. To
Eating
some,
is quite important.
move on to some other work, and then we can come back to this tomorrow. I really miss the faster refreshes of the days of old. What has
Yeah.
changed? This is very unusual, and I'm concerned a little bit. We are loading a lot of resources up, but I think it's probably something else.
Chrome update today. Who knows? Could have done.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Finished. All right. So we'll say launch. And somebody did test wall already.
I'm not sure is that actually a command, to be honest.
Test
oh,
mix is one. That
test
worked.
mix works, and there we go. So that's pretty good.
And we have test sample. And there we go. Nice. Okay, good. All right. I'm feeling good now. So that's good.
That feels good, yeah.
That feels good. So let's kind of summarize what we've done with regards
So
to this.
we're right back to square one, which is to say everything works. Okay. However, we have a much more aesthetic set of code. It's not perfect yet. There are improvements still to be made. We have a much more reduced main TS, a much more reduced folder in which main.js sits. There's
Right.
far fewer files in that area. They're separated into correct folders, which represent their intended purpose. So we have our generic items in Game Engine. We have our drone game stuff in CodeRushed folder. and all the things that pertain to those particular things. We've made sure that we reference all those files correctly so it still functions as we say. And we're in a good position to do a little bit more of the same, I think, going forward. But then, as we said before, to ultimately derive secondarily down from what is now quiz game to create the DH game.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so I would call this good, what we've done.
Yeah.
We are moving in that direction of cleaning up. We're taking a bunch of stuff that we just wrote very quickly and putting it in a place where we are restricting access to it, so it's only accessible from the place that we are that we're from the class we're calling it from. The advantage of restricting access is that we don't have namespace collision. We reduce the likelihood of unintentional namespace collision later on, which makes code harder to maintain and even work, for example. So yeah, I think we're moving in a good direction. So I think that's going to be a show for today. Tomorrow we'll call this maybe part 2 of refactoring and maybe go back to that coin collection, finishing that up so we can actually collect some coins. And I think we'll be ready to start the Dragon Humpers game engine on Thursday, is my sense, is when we'll start actually running that. Okay.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Will Bennett, as usual. Really great, high quality contributions. And you know, I want to talk. One of the things I want to say about what Will was suggesting about the command object structure, I think it's a great solution. I use it in everything I do. I haven't, except for this, I haven't done it here. I may not do it here because I want to maybe focus on bits of code that are more interesting. And again, because it's such a limited time kind of thing for me, this is not like something I'm writing at all full time. So I may not do it here, but I still think it's an incredibly good suggestion. If you have something similar to what we've got and you're passing text around essentially as strings, moving them to a command object makes so much more sense. It cleans up the code. And we may end up doing it, but in the event we don't, I want to say it's still a really good suggestion. Okay, and with that, so thanks so much to Will. Thanks so much to Rory. Thanks so much to everybody else listening and watching. We will see you tomorrow.